My name is Michael, and this is Use Vim. Today we're going to talk about Windows and tabs. So just as a prelude, I'm going to talk about a subset of Windows commands. If you want to use more tab and Windows commands, you can go to the help and learn about a bunch of different key combinations. I'm going to show you what I use, and I think it's enough basics to provide you with some ideas for altering your workflow. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to save this one as file 1, and then create a new window here. I use the motion there, CTRL-w to open up a new split window on top. You can see this is a unique file, so we're going to save it. If you use the split command, it will create a copy of a file in the current window. If you use the vsplit command, it will vertically create a copy of that file. And then what I did with that motion was the same thing as executing this command new. Let's actually go into a different window. So new, and then it will create a new empty file. So you can see the difference between split and new is that split makes a copy, and then new will just make a new file. So we'll call this one file 3, oops, window 3, right, file 3. The key motion I'm using there is CTRL-w and Q. So you saw at the top there I was using CTRL-w and N for new window. The motion for Windows in general is CTRL-w, and that's what you're going to be seeing me do for most of this. Alright, so now we've got 3 open windows. Now let's move around between them. It's just the standard Vim movement commands, cardinal direction, and actually let's create another file. So we'll call this file 4. So the standard Vim cardinality movement commands with the prefix of the CTRL-w motion. If I just want to cycle through all these open windows, you can use CTRL-w and W to just go through them in order. Okay, so I've got a bunch of windows open. Let's say I want to examine something more closely. You can use the CTRL-w and then underscore key to maximize horizontally, well, I guess vertically, the current window. And then if you want to use CTRL-w and then pipe, it will maximize it the width. So it's kind of visual if you look at it on the keyboard. If you want to move around the position of those vertical lines, you use the CTRL-w pipe. And if you want to move around the position of those horizontal lines, CTRL-w underscore. These are the 2 main motions I use. I usually just like maximize and minimize a file when I switch between them. If you want to switch back to a view that equally distributes all the windows, you can do CTRL-w and then the equal sign. So after you change the layout to whatever you want, CTRL-w equal is going to restore things. Alright, so windows are all in the same pane. What if you want to have multiple panes, just like a browser? Use the command tabnew to open up new tabs. And then you have unique files here. You can see in the keylogger it's the G command, so global, and then T for tab. So switching forward is the lowercase t, and switching backwards is the uppercase T. To get a list of the open tabs, just the command tabs. It will tell you all the files that are open in it. And then if you want to move the position of the tabs around, it's the current active tab. So in this case, it's going to be file 1, which is in position 1. It starts at 0, and we'll move it to the first position. So the active window and then the position you want it to be. Now it's the last, so if we did a G_T, we'd be in file 4, moving file 4 to position, the first position, there we go. And then let's do one other thing. Let's add a new window in this called file 5. Okay. So now what you can see is you can combine windows and tabs so that each pane can have, if you wanted to, multiple windows. Let's do a vsplit in this one. Now, how do you act on all these files? Well, if you want to cause some command to occur on every active, or on every open tab, use the tabdo command, and then whatever the command is. So in this case, we'll do a simple search and replace, and it will make a change to every open tab. So you can see that it didn't actually, it's only altering the active window in the current tab here. So if we want to actually make a change to everything in the open window, let's actually flip this back first. It's just like the tabdo command, but instead it's the Windows do command. So regular expression. So that acts on all the open windows in a current pane. So how do you act on every window and every tab? Well, it is the combination of the tabdo and the Windows do command. And we will change all of our active buffer, all of our active windows and tabs. Okay, so how do you open up a bunch of files on the command line? It is these command line flags. The P is for opening every file up in a new tab, and then O is for opening up windows. So lowercase o is for opening them up split vertically, and capital O is for horizontally. Alright, I know this was a little bit of a longer one, but I wanted to cover both tabs and windows today because I think there's similar concepts. So what we talked about was ways of creating windows with the split and vsplit and new commands and vnew, and also the two motions for creating those windows if you want to create or close active windows. We talked about how to move around between the windows using CTRL-w prefix and then the just standard cardinal motions, as well as just cycling through the active open windows with W. We talked about how to resize windows using the underscore and the pipe, and then using the equal sign to restore it to normal, all the open windows to normal proportions. And then with tabs, we talked about how to create new tabs with tabnew and then a file name, moving between those tabs with G lowercase and G uppercase T to cycle back and forward. How to display all the active tabs in a list using the tabs command, and how to move around the position of tabs with tabmove and then the new position for the active tab you're in. And then for issuing commands on your tabs and windows, you can use windo and tabdo in combination as well to cause things like regular expressions to act on all of your open files. And then finally, command line parameters for opening windows and tabs are the P flag for tabs and then the O lowercase and O uppercase for windows. If you want to learn more about Vim, I would highly recommend using the Vim tutor. It comes with Vim when you install it, and it contains a tutorial for learning all the Vim basics. It takes about 20 minutes, and you will learn all the basic commands.